Did you already order your AI humanoid robot?
Other engineers, they are not in control of at all.
They think like 200 years ahead.
Because everybody will die.
You don't let your ego get in the way.
This is total lie.
And are you going to teach it how to meditate?
If you look at the phone, you're connected to dark energies.
The more I dig in the rabbit hole, the less I know.
This is the main thing to understand.
What do you think is the number one reason it's impeding people's successes? Welcome to the Frequency of Wealth podcast, where we interview very successful people who use spirituality and meditation as a tool for business to create an extraordinary amount of wealth. Today we have a very special guest, Alexander Volchek, who is a serial entrepreneur who have built, scaled, and exited many companies over 20 years worth hundreds of millions of dollars. What makes Alexander unique, though, is that he combines ruthless business strategy with deep spiritual practices. He has meditated over 10 years. He does weekly mindful sessions on his YouTube channel while being the most results-driven executive in his industry. Today, Alexander lives in Silicon Valley with his family, where he invests in AI and tech startups, helping entrepreneurs strike the balance between material success and inner development through his Being Known platform. Alexander, welcome to the show, and thank you for dedicating your time to share your wisdom.
Thank you for inviting.
Yeah, it's an honor to have you here. I'm going to start out the gate with two questions. Did you already order your AI humanoid robot? And are you going to teach it how to meditate when it arrives?
I didn't order yet because I do not have the one I really want. Last week, one company announced that it's possible to order for $500 monthly. I don't remember the name of the company.
Yeah, I saw that. That's why.
Yeah, you saw it. Yeah, I didn't order yet. Yeah, I'm still thinking if because all the robots right now looks very ugly. So they can destroy my house and my children. Yeah, they can create problems.
Maybe you're gonna build your own.
I'm not sure. But I spent many years in robotics career. Yeah, I started in robotics in 2004 in semiconductor equipment automation. We were developing many different robots for semiconductor industry all over the world, and United States and Taiwan and Austria and Germany. Yes, and I was managing a lot of tools. Yeah.
So let's start from the very beginning. Like, where did it all begin for you? So did you always had the knowing that you're going to be an entrepreneur?
In university, I have 2 degrees, one in software engineering and one in finance, like master in finance. And I started as software developer 21, maybe 22 years ago. And mostly very fast starting to manage projects. Semiconductor industry, automation, GPS, GSM tracking systems, all mechanical engineer, different types of projects all over the world for Intel, Infineon, IBM, many companies. And in 2006, I had an idea to start a software development company to automate businesses in different industries. And in 2007, we started this company. And we had project to automate industry for different types of wood constructions, and also in insurance companies, and in real estate business, and also in web development. And we were also in mobile application when App Store was opened in 2007, 2008, I don't remember. We even started to make mobile apps.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, this was my let's say this was the first business, because we had some small ideas, like we started to trade mobile phones when I was in university, some small things. Yeah. But it was just something.
So would you say your financial acumen, your investment acumen and financial acumen, was it acquired and self-learned, or did it come from your upbringing, from your family?
It just came from nothing. My father was an entrepreneur. He started his business in 1991 or 1992. Yeah, but it was not related to my businesses or to my industry at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was mainly in construction, in other interested, in other industries, and I was a simple software engineer. And it's
So you had no aspirations to become an
no,
entrepreneur when you
for
started?
sure no. It's like I didn't have any inspiration to move to Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
I visited Silicon Valley in 2007. We had installations. We had contracts in Portland and in Colorado, and we were traveling in the United States. And I said to one of our project managers from France, "Let's go to visit San Francisco."
Yeah.
Yeah, and I visited Silicon Valley. I think maybe 2000. I don't remember. 2007, I think. And for sure, I didn't have any idea or goal to live here. I didn't want to leave Belarus. I wanted to stay in Belarus. And the same, I didn't have any inspiration to become entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And even now, I'm very open to be entrepreneur or to work for somebody at the same time. I mean, for me, the same, totally the same. I do not, and I think this is a very good quality for me.
You don't let your ego get in the way.
For some people, it's ego. For some, fear, or it's different things. Yes, and for me. For me, it's all life. I mean, I'm really totally okay to have my own business or to be employed. I always say, like, I have 4 children, and I always say that I will be happy to work for them, or if they will work for me, or if will happen nothing in general. I mean, we will not meet in business area, or we'll work together.
Yeah, it's great to have no expectations on
Yeah,
no rules.
It's for sure no expectations in this case.
Was there a specific moment in time when you had the inner knowing, like where you knew you were going to be successful?
I'm not sure I can put a mark for me that I am successful. Yes, because what is success? If to compare with whom and with what? If to compare with the amount of salaries that I can get, or if what kind of clothes I can buy, or if to compare what amount I have on my bank account. So some things I will be not really successful. With some things, of course, I can be considered like successful. You know, I had 12 years ago, we had like a game. It's not a game. It was a task. It was required to write 100 goals that you want to achieve, and all these goals should be like unbelievable. And on the same list, I had a goal that I want to be #1 in Forbes, or I want to have a company $500 billion. That time, the most valuable company was Apple, and it was 650 billion. And I wanted 500 billion.
Oh, wow.
And I wanted like 100 to 250,000 employees. I wanted to have dozens, billions on my account. And at the same time, it was written, I want to have 3 children. This is interesting. I always say that for me, 3 children was the same as 500 billion company evaluation. And you never know. Now I have 4, and I think this is okay. I mean, this is not a lot.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Oh, for sure. And how long ago did you have those plans? $500 million and 3 children?
For how long? What?
Yeah, how long ago?
It was in 2013.
13. Okay,
Yes,
so over 10 years ago.
This file with 100 goals, it was saved. And friendly speaking, now I'm not sure I'm able to put such goals. And I do not understand how I was even able to put such. I mean, it's really interesting because I do not remember. For the last 10 years, I can remember a lot of things. And I was analyzing every day of my life, every minute of my, always, like to be always in conscious awareness, like always.
Yeah.
But previously, I was not like this. And that's why I do not remember why I decided to put such goals.
Yeah, so you don't have those goals anymore?
I'm not sure I have goals in my life.
Not anymore.
Yeah, no anymore at all, any types of goals. I have, of course, goals in business one or in business two, or I have some goals, for example, probably in my some projects, but not in let's say my goals for my life. I do not have like this.
Yeah,
At all.
it's interesting that a lot of successful people I meet who have achieved extraordinary amount of wealth, they set ridiculous goals. They've set a plan, the goals that are like 100 years out or 200 years out. They don't think in terms of what's going to happen next year or next 5 years. They think like 200 years ahead, and both in things that they want to achieve and what kind of legacy they want to create. And to normal people, those goals sound, extremely like unachievable. But it's interesting to people like yourself. It's like normal, yeah, $500 million or $500 billion valuation. It's okay. It's normal, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
12 years
it
ago.
doesn't matter that it doesn't mean when I said that I do not have right now goals in my life. In some businesses, it doesn't mean that I cannot put a goal like to have 1 trillion company or 10 trillion company. For me, this is totally fine.
Yeah.
For me, this is totally. And as I coach a lot of people, or they consult with me, like let's say, yes, and I very easily say to many people, like, put a goal 100 billion or 200 billion, or you will not achieve it. Because sometimes you can understand that you will not achieve
Yeah,
it.
you gotta
It's
be
a question what type of goal you put. If you want to put a goal that you want to be the most successful father in your life, this is a ridiculous goal. But if you want to put a goal for the business that can really achieve a big amount, why not?
And so when you do you go to the office during the day?
Now not, but almost all my life I was in the office with a lot of people.
Yeah. So how do you so you work from home?
I involved in different businesses and in different projects, more than like 20 maybe, more than 20. And I have a lot of different calls. Some calls I make from home, some calls I make from meetings, like offline meetings. Some calls I make I just go to the city. This is kind of problem right now for the last 2 years, because all my life I was in the office.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was even one story in 5 years ago. I was invited to become a CEO of the largest educational provider in IT education, and it's 6 million people community and 250,000 students on long-term programs, like 1 year, 2 years programs, and everybody was online. All the industry was online, but I knew that we have to be offline, and I said and it was interesting because I asked to call all the employees. They called them like 1,000 people, more than 1,000, and 300 didn't answer.
Wow.
And I said, okay, in 1 week we will start to fire them, and 200 people have to move to office.
Wow. Yeah.
And this is funny because 1 year ago, 2 years ago, a lot of companies all over the world said we have to work from the office.
Yeah.
Like, why? First you said that everybody have to work from online. Now everybody have to work from office.
Yeah, because people are not
I'm
engaged.
office person. I'm office person.
Alexander, you've mentioned fears earlier. Do you have any fears?
I had some situations when I, let's say, felt, when I had the chance to feel it, but
Like a near death experience?
it's probably yes and not, and I what happened, as I know that during this moment the only thing I need to care about is to concentrate of my next step, and that's why I was able to analyze or to look at these fears. But I had a fear.
Yeah.
I had a fear. It's not a question of what I have right now. It's a question of what can happen and what is working in parallel. And If you do not have right now, for example, a fear to lose money, or a fear to lose your wife, or a fear to lose your children, for example, it doesn't mean that you will not have high level of this fear in 1 year. Nobody knows, because the level of fear is not controlled by your imagination or level of money or clothes that you have.
What do you think controls it?
Different types of sources. And this is always a question to understand that you do not know what is controlling. And then you have a chance to start looking at it. Because this is the most important thing to understand, that your life is changing every minute. It doesn't matter if it's development of your life, or growing of your life, or going like this. It doesn't matter. It's always changing. And 10 years ago, a person can say that, for example, he doesn't like to grow fruits. And now he all his day in the garden. It's you do not know what will happen with impulses or with your fears.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like you need to really understand the source of your fear to be able.
First, you need to understand that you do not know the sources, and you do not know, and you will always have sources that you will never understand. This is very important. You will always have sources that you will never understand. And this is the main thing that you need to understand. The second one, when you understand then this, you will stop lying yourself every minute or every 10 minutes or every hour. You will just stop lying yourself. When you will stop lying yourself, you will have a possibility to start, of course, in parallel, you will start analyzing the cause and effect of everything. Yeah. Because it's too complex. Yeah. It's too complex. You never know what will happen. But you can really go inside and start understanding it. For example, I understand that I always have in parallel in my different energies, it's just uncontrolled. You have some pain here, or you have some uncontrolled mind. And the question is, if you will start to blocking this fear, or if you can increase, it's not a question of face it, not a face it. If you will start increase your observation, and when you increase your observation, the fear will become nothing.
It will disappear.
It will disappear. And when I say disappear, it doesn't mean that the fear itself, because the fear is not a material object.
Yeah, but
if we say this is a material object, it will not become less. For your observation, it will be nothing at all. And this is the main question. I never, totally never, have any problems during the day or for months when I have some problem more than minutes. Okay, 1 hour, but not more than one night. Yeah. It will always disappear. I know exactly how to have observation to stop any type of fear or any type of mind problem.
So it sounds like when you are experiencing a fear, the best thing to do is to just observe it, acknowledge it, and observe
to increase your own observation.
Yes,
it's not observed fear; it's observation of the
sensation.
Let's say observation of the fear is okay also, but better, much better, to start feeling yourself, to observe yourself. And this is a question: what you're observing. If you're observing just physical body, you will never, totally never, let's say, you will still decrease the influence of the fear, just observing the body. But if you can observe not only physical body, to observe all your bodies, and to observe all different types of your energy, and observe different types of your own space, real space, who you really are. In this case, any type of fear will always disappear. This is really easy to feel. It's a question if you can do it or not, and a question of what this level of observation, it doesn't have the end. There is no end of observation.
You just you observe sensations you have in the body or your thoughts, the emotions.
Yeah, but
Everything.
but this will not always help. You need to observe something else.
Something else.
Yeah, you need to observe. This is always a question how you understand yourself. If you say, for example, there is a material world, social world, there is a material world, and let's say people say there is spiritual world. All the people usually say the spiritual world is here. For them, spiritual world is the part of material world. Some people say, okay, spiritual world, it's not the part of material world. This is something nearby, in parallel. But it's still for them, spiritual world is a part of material world. But if we really want to understand spirituality, if we really want to understand the energy, in this case, we have to understand that there is a spiritual world and material world is inside it. To observe spirituality from material world, it's impossible. You will observe the spiritual world inside material world. Mm-hmm. And in this case, of course, the fear will just laugh. Mm-hmm. The ego will just laugh. All the dark sides or dark energies or dark worlds will just laugh. Because you're observing your own imagination. But if you will just every day remember that we live in spiritual world, in real spiritual world, that there is always a cause and effect in spiritual world, and this is the beginning. In this case, the observation has totally another level of thinking and of understanding and of everything, totally everything. Yeah. It's like this meeting. Yeah. We can observe just this room or observe us together, or I can always observe dozens of parallel worlds and different places where we exist at the same time. This is really different things. Think of understanding. And if you observe something outside of your constant understanding of material world, in this case, this world will always influence the material world. This is the main thing to understand, that if you observe something outside of material world, if you start observing, even it's not a question to really see it. It's not a question to really understand the future or past. Not all the people can do this. It's not a question to see coloring or to see different types of energies. It's a question just to understand this. Like, I understand this. For me, this is the same simple as you have two eyes. But most of the people, they just believe in it. For me, it's not a question of belief. For me, this is reality.
How did you get into it? You've been meditating for over 10 years, and how did you get into the spiritual path?
Meditation, it's for people say that there is some type of levels in spiritual development, or some type of points, and some points they say, okay, this one meditated 1,000 hours, and this one 100 hours. In this case, he is spiritually more developed than another one. But this is total lie.
Yeah, not necessarily.
This is total lie. Because a small boy, 3 years old, he can be much more spiritually developed. You do not understand his hierarchy. You do not understand who he is really in his spiritual body.
Yeah.
Who he is like spiritual being. Who is he in reality? And that's why it's not a question of meditations or visiting caves or visiting some retreats or even understanding something. It's not a question of spiritual development. That's why answering your question, it's just like a start to understand that it's not a question of time, of meditation time. Totally not.
No, but at what point in time did you get
into this? It's just I understand this. It was
it's something you always understood?
Let's say 13 years ago, I was not involved at all in spiritual life. Not at all, it means that I didn't know any type of book or special word or anything at all. And 13 years ago, it happened that I met some people and we started discussions, and I started to be involved in a lot of activities in spiritual life, a lot of different types of activities, like usual activities, some different types of meditations or retreats or going to mountains or blah, 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 different things, or working in groups and everything. But maybe 8 years ago, I had some, let's say, event. I had some events when I just started to understand more. That's it.
Something happened, an event
I
happened.
just started to see more. That's it. It's not a question of what happened, because what happened, it happened with my spiritual being. It would never happen with you or with anybody else. Because people want always, I remember that 13 years ago when I started to go to make some spiritual practices, and at the same time my business was growing, and some of my friends or acquaintance, we also want to have the spiritual practices, because they thought that I have results because of these practices. But are you sure this is cause and effect? Or maybe my businesses were growing not so fast because of these practices, and they should grow faster than it happens. That's why it doesn't matter what really happened with me 8 years ago. I said a lot about this in different videos or in different types of articles and in books, and I'm sure I will say a lot in future. The more interesting is what is happening right now, or what's happened after, and what is happening with understanding of everything. This is much more, because, for example, before I would make some meditations related to some results, but now I understand that I do not need to make this meditation, and I will have this result without this meditation. That is, this was not really correct direction. This is always a question of understanding. The main thing is to increase your own observation. And the second one is to understand your next step. To always know your next step. What you need to do, what you need to say, in everything.
How is that new level of understanding changed the way you do business, or how you make business decisions?
It's totally changed. Because let's say before I was making all the decisions related to my certain ideas, I thought that the brain is created them. And before I thought that there is a material world, that's it. And spiritual world is something nearby. And in everything, when you speak with your children or when you drink water, in everything, yes, before. And after, and right now I understand that before to do something, I will rely on different things. On my vision of past or vision of future, of spiritual vision, at the same time of real things in material world, or real advice of some partner, of some person, or reading a book, or understanding that another person is recommending me something to do, because he, in reality, it's not his brain which generated this idea. He saw it in spiritual world, even if he doesn't understand it. This is always a complex of many things. Every time, every word, this is always a complex. This is always a question to understand what I am saying right now. This is just generated of died thoughts of my mind, or this is spiritual flow going from my spiritual being, or from my different spiritual bodies, or from my soul. And this is always a question, and this is very important to understand.
Do you have a specific example where how you made a decision? In the past, you would have made decision based on one way, but now from a different level of understanding when you're looking at investment or business decision.
I remember 8 years ago, I had a meeting with some of my team, and there were 10 people sitting in one table, and nine of them were lying, and I knew because of
Were
my
aligned?
spiritual vision that they are lying.
Wow.
What you will do in this case? You cannot say them that that everybody is lying. This is not the solution for sure. This is real world. Like you come to a restaurant and you ask, do you have a place? And they say no. And you understand, if no really, or they are lying, what you will do? If when you understand that they are lying, or if they understand that this is real.
Yeah, it affects
So,
how you make
so
decisions.
this of course creates total effects on everything. For example, if I want, today I was buying some stock, Nasdaq stock for tech AI, whatever. And if I am buying something, I am relying on algorithm, on material algorithm. I relying on my experience. I relying on advice of JP Morgan or whatever, or I'm relying on my vision. Do I need to buy it or not?
Which one is
This
it
is a
for
complex, always a complex.
So you
sometimes it can be just my vision. Sometimes I know that I need to buy. Sometimes I know that I need to sell. Sometimes I know that I do not have an answer. This is very important. That the answer is not always yes or no. Sometimes you do not know, but you need to understand that right now I do not know. There is no solution, or it can be different chances.
Yeah.
Because you always have very controlled life, very controlled. Most of the people totally controlled. And at the same time, you have freedom. And freedom with control, they create, it's a very complex system. Sometimes you need to understand that right now you do not know. And okay, in this case, I will say, okay, I will buy because my algorithm say me to buy.
So do you believe in free will, or you think that everything is predestined and there is nothing inside our control?
Same and no at the same time. Yes and no at the same time. Because from one point of view, your life is totally controlled by karma or by heredity, from one point of view. Or from your, let's say, spiritual, from who you are in spiritual energies and bodies. Let's add this third point. And from another point of view, in any case, there is a freedom. This is always a combination. This is always a combination, because in any case, you create your own new karma. But problem is that karma is a very complex thing, because when you choose your incarnation and you come to this world, your spiritual being knows exactly what to do. But you with your name and your social personality, let's say social personality, do not remember this. And in 20th century, people started to have big problem because they started to have big heredity at the same time. And sometimes they live just because of influence of heredity and not even influence of karma. This is very important to understand that for some people, karma really didn't open at all. They just live with heredity because they had a great influence of their parents during their growing. Yeah, because, for example, imagine there is you have two kids, and one of them is looking on something in spiritual world when he is 6 years old, and he say, "Oh, I see something," and you say, "Oh, you see a tree, or you see a person." No, I see black pink balls, or rounds, or circles, or tunnel. He will say, no, there is no tunnel. There is a camera here. And in this case, he will just forget about this. And he will stay in big heredity, in very big heredity.
What is the best way to find out your life purpose, or why your soul came here and reincarnated?
You do not need it.
You don't need
You
to know.
do not need to know it. Your main purpose is to grow like with principles for human being. This is your main goal, and everybody have to remember this.
To keep growing as an
To
individual.
keep growing as a human being with principles.
To keep evolving yourself, to keep having different human experiences?
Yes and no. When I say about principles, I say maybe about other different things. But to keep growing, to keep growing doesn't mean that you will grow up. You can grow down, because in any case you will come to the point of that is required for any person in many years. That's why if you believe that there is spiritual life, and inside spiritual life, if you believe there is incarnations, you need to understand that your current life is just a point on very big line.
Yeah.
If just to imagine 2D or 3D line, this line is very big.
Yeah.
And you have just one point. And also to remember that there is a life between these points. There is life between death and birth. Because people remember only, and want to remember, only life between birth and death. Very important to understand that your back life is between death and birth also.
Switching gears a little bit, you've exited, I've studied your bio, you've exited multiple companies at their peak. The Megaplan, Geekbrain, Agro24. And was it intentionally, I have multiple questions here actually. You exiting at the peak, was it intentionally to just have a different experiences because you wanted to try to have different experiences as a human being and to see what awaits for you in the future, the next venture? Or was it conscious choice or not conscious choice?
No, this is just happened.
It just happened.
Just
without
happened.
any meaning.
100% sure this just happened.
Okay.
Yes. I was not involved in any of these decisions. And to start up something and to end up something.
Was it hard to let go of success and attachment to success?
With some things, I had problems, for sure. With some, not. For the last years, of course, it's much easier. Before, I had a lot of, I did a lot of mistakes, for sure. I mean, mistakes, it's not a question. I do not want to change anything. It's a more question of understanding that, okay, here it can be another way.
Do you have any daily routine or practice that you do?
I always in spiritual vision, always, 24/7. The real meditation is not sitting on the chair or on the floor in special pose. The real meditation is how you observe yourself at every minute, every moment. This is real meditation.
Do you have constant awareness of your thoughts?
Most of the time, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Most of the time in most of the decisions. And of course I have some routines. I read a lot of books. I have some practices. I practice a lot with other people. I have a lot of spiritual groups where that I'm leading. Yes, and
do you observe more when you're being aware? Observe more your thoughts or your sensations and feelings in the body?
It's not a question of thoughts at all.
At all.
And this is for sure yes, but observation of thoughts or of my vision, it's just one of small results of this. This is more observation of let's say this is spiritual observation, because you have to understand that spiritual observation and spiritual vision, it's not just one vision. It's hundreds of different types of vision, because some vision you see coloring, or some vision you see parallel worlds, and in some vision you just understand. You just have a knowledge. And the question is if you are able to control at the same time 20 different locations, or 30 different locations, or 100 different locations. For example, sometimes I drive car with somebody and we have like discussion in meditation way. And I always say, are you able to control all the cars at the same time, and to see all the spiritual beings at the same time during driving the car?
Wow.
And this is very important. If you can see spiritual beings, it's not just to, because even with vision, it's not easy sometimes to see everything. Yes, I'm not sure you saw all the coloring of these stones here. Yes, now you see them. Before, not, maybe not. And the same with spiritual observation. You have so many to observe. Yeah. And at the same time, every thought or every idea, if you understand the world of this thought, of the world of this idea, it has so many to observe. And at the same time, you have so many things to make a decision, to decide about your next step.
Do you interact with any of these beings, or any of these beings are from interplanetary, from other
This is
sources?
not a question of planet or not. There is, for sure, there is a spiritual hierarchy. And there are so many different types of beings. Yeah, and of course you communicate with them or not. You always communicate with them. It's a question if you understand this or not. But you for sure, you are a spiritual being. You for sure communicate with spiritual world because you are a part of spiritual world. The question, people think that somebody can communicate with them. And in this case, we say there is material world, and somebody from material world communicates with spiritual. This is not like this. Like we have a lot of connections right now. And it's easily possible now to make some things that we will stop our discussion in 10 minutes. It will just stop. Or it will continue. It's not a problem to stop, you know, from energy perspective. It's not a problem to stop. And nobody will understand that it stopped because of an energy. Something will happen. I remember 10 years ago, or even more, I was involved in some practices. And in this practice, there were like organized initiations. And one of the initiation was that you can observe something that all people will disappear from your, let's say, from your observation. All people will just disappear. And that time I didn't understand what does it mean. Now I can understand what does it mean.
In one of your videos I was watching, you talk about AI, and that there is very powerful spiritual energies that drive AI progress. So you live in Silicon Valley, which is like the epicenter of tech innovation, AI. You're a venture capitalist who invest into AI yourself. So one thing like that, at least I do, from my level of understanding, during meditations, I try to tap into the collective consciousness of humanity in the unified field, right, the quantum field. And technically AI is also a collective consciousness of all humanity. So how can you elaborate more of that, what you were saying in your video in Russian, but more for our English audience, how AI and meditations or collective consciousness of humanity, how are they the same or different, and what drives those energy that
First of all, large language models, they do not have any consciousness. Yes, these are algorithms. But the question is, who is creating? Who is the source of these algorithms? If the source is OpenAI or Sam Altman or other engineers, or the source is before them, what I know and what I see, the source is before them, and the source is creating AI. They're creating it themselves, and other engineers, they are not in control of it at all.
So it just
they are not in control. This just comes, and it's easier to understand. Just imagine why people think that right now they are so clever, and 20 years ago they were not so clever people. People always say that they are the cleverest people in century or for the last 500 or 1000 years. Look, everybody is saying like this. They are the cleverest people. Why they didn't make this 50 years ago or 10 years ago or 5 years ago?
It wasn't the right time for humanity to
have
access to this technology?
Yeah, because the source is different. And this is always a question to understand. You need to understand what is in reality. What is in reality? What is real artificial intelligence? What it can be in reality? This is always the question. If people live in material world, of course, they created everything. Okay. But if we live in spiritual world, and there is material world, and inside material world exists AI. This means there is something in spiritual world, like a source of it.
That's
It
great.
cannot be a source of one human being. You just have to, if you say, okay, there is no spiritual world, no questions.
Yeah.
But if somebody says there is spiritual world,
Yeah.
in this case, for sure, the source is in the spiritual world because everybody will die. There is a source. And the question is what this source, what goals it has, and what it will do, and what type of energy it is. And
what do you think it is? What do you think its goals is?
the one that is created large language models and current AI, it's very complex, hard, not good energy.
Really?
It's killing millions of people every day in their mind and everything. Yeah, it's like even a lot of people will not exist in future.
Because of that.
For sure. And that's why I have a channel about AI. It's for Russian audience, yes. And I very optimistic about using an AI. Why? Because you have to use it. After you will, or otherwise you will die in case of your professional life.
Yeah.
Or everybody like a submarine going down and down and down. If you do not use it, if you do not make like 20 or 30 prompts every day for all your life or your business. But if to look like an energy of this is a very difficult thing. But we have to live with it. It was, there is one person, Rudolf Steiner from Anthroposophy. 100 years ago, he said that if you open a safe box, you connect to Ahrimanic energies. This is dark energies. It's like if you look at the phone, you connect it to dark energies, but it doesn't mean you will not use your phone every day.
Mm-hmm.
We live with different energies always. It's just how we can live, who is in control of your life, they or you. Yeah. That's it.
So through your platform, you also help entrepreneurs achieve, basically, you lead public meditations, help them achieve maybe higher level of understanding from consciousness. What do you think is the number one reason that's impeding people's successes? Why they cannot have things that they think they want to have in the material world?
Heredity and karma and their spiritual being, the complex of spiritual bodies and energies.
So you think for somebody
So
for somebody to achieve higher level of wealth, they really need to start working, doing inner work to clean up?
Yes and no. It doesn't mean that you will achieve something, because in spiritual world, the amount of money that you have is nothing.
That's right.
And it's not a relevant thing that if you have a lot of money, you have some big possibilities in spiritual world. It's not working like this. Let's say what you can really achieve. It's a question of what you really want. Because some people want to have money and they are ready to kill people, yes? Mm-hmm. That's why it's not, and the best result to achieve money, probably to steal them. Or probably to say a lie to somebody, probably, yes? I will not do like this, but let's say probably it's working. And it's a question what you want to have. You want to have a joy, you want to have anxiety, you want to have happiness, or you want to live with the rules and laws of the world. I want to live with the laws of the world. It's not a question of my happiness, of my joy. This is the main point for me. Mm-hmm. And of course, as a result, for sure you are more able in your life to earn more money or to have more businesses or to be more successful in your life, to go, let's say, upper level, for sure, because you have some control. But you need to understand that freedom is chaos. Freedom is chaos. Everybody wants to have freedom, but in reality, when you have freedom, you do not know what will happen in 1 minute. Mm-hmm. You know nothing at all.
Well, with freedom, isn't that true at any given point in time?
Chaos at all. It's always.
Yeah.
And most of the people, in reality, they do not want this chaos.
Yeah.
They want to know what will happen in 20 years. They want to buy a house. They want to have these children that will go to the university and will not have problems with their health or whatever. They want to close their observation, but not to open it.
Yeah.
But closing your observation, of course, you lose your control and freedom.
Yeah.
With freedom, it's another life. It's not a question of, it's another success. Let's say even to use the word success, it's another success. And one day, if person understands it, he will never sell it for billions of dollars. I remember this, by the way. I remember when I started to see a lot in spiritual world, and when I saw a lot of animals in their energies and communication of them, and when I understand that it's very easy with just like this to stop thinking for other people, I remember that I had an idea that if somebody will give me $1 billion, I would never sell it.
The idea.
Yeah, I remember I would never sell this for my health, for my period of life, to increase my period of life, to have health for my children, to have to increase my bank account amount. I would never sell it. Never, never sell it for anything. If I'll have any problems, I will never sell it.
You worked with a lot of successful people, including some billionaires, right? You've been partners with billionaires before. What do you think the biggest difference that enabled them to achieve $1 billion net worth, that somebody who is stuck at who is a decade millionaire or centimillionaire, like somebody who is stuck at, let's say, $50 million or $100 million? What do you think that the main difference between those
only
two?
Karma.
Only karma.
Yeah, the big money is only for sure from karma. The big money. You have two sources of money. One is karma, and one, of course, it's not complex. It's just very easy understanding. One is karma and work product. Just working and working and working. The main thing is that a lot of people will not achieve money with work and with karma. Some people will achieve just with karma, but karma cannot give achievements all your life. And you can easily detect this. You can see many people who just achieved and no money after, or who no money and then achieved money.
Yeah.
We do not know what will happen in 10 years. Probably you will be the richest person in the world, or probably you will be the poorest person in the world. You will lose everything. You do not know this. This is a question of karma. But, and it's considered to be that the main blessing is for the person if they can achieve money with work. But you cannot achieve money with work, let's say big money with work. You have, in case you live in real freedom. But real freedom, it's not a joke. I mean, it's not. It's a very complex thing. And in real freedom, be sure, if you live in small freedom, you will never have a goal to earn money.
Yeah.
This. Everybody have to understand that if you live in spiritual freedom, you will never set up a goal to achieve a lot of money.
Yeah.
You will set up a goal to achieve a lot of money if you will have big reason, or you will have a reason. You will know spiritual reason. It's not material reason. Yeah. You will understand why. Sometimes you need to understand why. What will happen in the future. Like you can hear in my meditations, I do not know if you saw them because I have open meditation. Sometimes I say this meditation will see people in 5 years. Or sometimes I say now this meditation or in real time, 20 people watching. But I see that this meditation will be watched by 1,000 to 200 because I know that it will be watched by 200.
So you had 2 decades of exits and different ventures. So what's next for Alexander? What kind of a legacy are you working on right now?
Let's say I'm working in a different direction. One direction, I'm involved in some businesses in education, in tech, in real estate, not in operations, like more in strategy, in board of directors. Some maybe executive board of directors. One part of my life is I'm still involved in board of directors, not like my own businesses, but when people ask advices and so on. This is, and I'm looking for some new businesses sometimes and so on, and looking for partnership. And the third part of my life, if to divide like this, I have some products where I create different type of content for professional growth, business growth, lifestyle, spiritual content, different types, totally different types. I have different groups, communities. So I do not know what will happen. I know some directions. I can see some directions, but I do not know exactly. There is, I can see 10 years or 20 years more like in energy and what will happen, like what groups of people or millions of people can see me or not, or can communicate with me. But at the same time, understand that probably in 1 year or in 1 month, I will be employed in big tech.
Yeah.
This can happen. I'm very open.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very open for different possibilities. Yeah. And for me, all the possibilities are the same.
Yeah.
Let's say, totally the same.
A mandatory question I ask all guests: what is the frequency of wealth means to you? Certain practices, behavior, personality trait, thoughts, a certain thought process.
Karma and heredity.
Karma and heredity.
Yeah, karma mainly. Karma and work. Karma and work.
Karma and work.
Yeah. Of course, work. Of course, work. You have to work.
Yeah.
You have to work. But if you do not have a life when you need to have a point to earn big money, you will not earn them. You will lose everything. You will have a point when you need to lose everything. You will lose everything. Sometimes you have a freedom and you have different roads. Sometimes you have a possibility to choose. But the question, what you will choose? What for you is considered to be wealth? For me, wealth is to be in harmony with the principles of the world, of the real universe. For me, this is wealth.
Yeah.
For me, for sure, this is wealth.
Okay,
that's why. Yeah. But with money, of course, it's sometimes it's learning, sometimes it's work. Mainly, it's understanding. If to go a little bit down level and forget spirituality, the main thing is to understand for yourself what is your next step. I always say that I have different groups. I always say the main thing for you is to learn how to understand your next step in your professional development. Always to be able to make the right decision every minute. And to have this, you need to increase your observation in everything, in all your life, to understand the cause and effects of all your life, to understand the cause of your effects in a lot of businesses. I see how many businesses just controlled in the way of chaos. Look on AI or in big tech. Just listen them. Yeah. Just listen CEOs. Listen all these presidents. Listen all political influences. Listen them. They're saying different things, not because of their politicians, because they do not have, they do not really understand what is going on. It's just going.
Yeah.
And this is the main thing, to understand cause and effects in everything. I think, and to understand your next step, answering your question. If to change with spirituality, yes, because and I always have help with this.
Yeah.
This is the main thing. I always help.
Yeah.
To understand the main influence, the main points that can influence your future life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to help make right decision right now in next step in different projects. Just to understand if you need to continue YouTube or not, if you need to sell or buy, if you need to speak with this person or with that person, why you're in this situation, how you need to understand your relationships with children or with your wife or with your friends or with your partners and so on. This is the main I don't know. This is the main frequency of wealth, or
well, I think you answered it. It's being in harmony with the laws of the universe.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the frequency too.
And this is not the end task.
Yeah.
This is not the end job. You need to do this all your life. And a lot of people say that to have big wealth, you need to learn, to have education. But now we can see that a lot of education and learning, it's like better to watch just movie on Netflix, or this is, or to play with, much better to play with your kids sometimes to have this education. Because what is real education? Your real education is like, what is real spiritual life? Real spiritual life, it's not when you sit in meditation. Real spiritual life is how you communicate with other people. Who you are with other people. You are with other people a robot, or you are with other people real human being.
Sure. What is one piece of practical wisdom, a life hack, or like a practical wisdom advice that you can give to
spiritual or material?
Well, somebody who is looking to increase their net worth and as well at the same time upgrade their mindset, get at both an upgrade their mindset and upgrade of their bank account. What is one piece of advice can you give them that they should do?
The main one is to understand that to try every day to remember that you live in spiritual world and material world is part of it. If you will try to remember it in all the situations, you will win really a lot. It's not a question of winning, but you will win really a lot. You will win things that you cannot imagine.
Let me see if I can say it back to you. You have to remember every day that you live in a spiritual world, and the material world is just a side effect. It's
not a side effect.
It's not a side effect.
It's inside.
Let's
say inside. Imagine there is a ball. There is a ball of material world, and there is a ball of spiritual world. So the ball of material world is inside small point inside spiritual world. Just to understand.
So when things that happen, look at things from spiritual perspective.
Yeah, when you speak with your child and say that you have to to make this homework because tomorrow you will have problems, to understand that you are lying, because there are spiritual cause and effects in this part. When you're buying something, you have to understand that you are not in control of this. When you earn some money, you understand that you do not know why you earn them. When you have your wife, understand you do not know why you have her. It's not because you met her. Just to understand this, to try to understand. It's not a question to believe. It's not a question, just to remember. It's like
just to remember that you don't know.
You asked about practice. Yes, it's just like a practice. Just to remember this.
Just remember that she's there for a reason. Let's say your wife, and you don't know why she's.
It's not a question of a reason. People always looking for a reason. Just understand that you do not know why. It's not a question of reason. You do not know why, because a reason it's a game of ego, finding a reason. It's very easy to say, okay, we met together because there is a reason. Or we had problems with cameras because there is a reason. No, we had problems with cameras because it was organized like this. It's not a question of it's not a question it's not a question of a reason, because otherwise it's not working solution. It's not working. It's lying.
Okay, so the practical piece of wisdom would be honest with yourself.
Yeah, be honest with yourself. And frankly speaking, if you will start looking like this, you will understand that you do not know answers. And people want to have all the answers. But this is really interesting. If I will ask you, for example, what percentage do you know yourself? On what percentage?
Materially, I feel like probably 50%.
Yeah,
spiritually, probably less than 1%.
This is, but everywhere you see you're separated, yes? You want to separate. You do not want to say that even you do not want...
overall, I would say it's probably less than 1%. That's why I'm on this journey.
Of course, overall is less than 1 if spiritual is 1. Yeah, but people always want to say like 50 or 40 or 60. But I always say that it's much better to know yourself 0.0001, because you have so many possibilities in future in this case. And if you know yourself 50%, the game is, your life is stopped. But you have next 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 years in future. We have so many different possibilities. My professional life has not stopped for sure. My family life has not stopped for sure. I have so many different things.
Alexander, it's been a pleasure having this discussion. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with not only with me, but with the audience who's going to be watching it. For somebody who wanted to get in touch with you, what is the best way to follow you or to...
Professionally, it's LinkedIn, I think, Probably that days I will have meditations in English. And in any case, you can give meditations in Russian, because now you have a possibility to watch them in English using YouTube audio, and it's totally enough, because all my meditations, they're in spiritual worlds. It doesn't matter what language they are. Yeah. And it's totally fine to translate them. But of course, it's better to listen the voice. You know, when you sit in meditation with open eyes and listening somebody with open eyes, you have full connection of spiritual bodies. And in this case, you increase your observation in physical world. This is very important. Yeah, this is very important, because that's why very often I say in meditations, keep eyes open. Not always, but very often, keeps eyes open. Because people want to feel something inside meditation. But it's not a question of feeling. It's a question of what you will have in next years. It's not a question of feeling. It's a question of what you will have in the next 5, 10, 20 years, starting from right now. Yeah, people just want to feel something, to feel no thoughts. This is nothing. This is very easy to do. Or to feel joy or happiness. This is very easy. The question is how you feel yourself in your life in future.
It's been a super interesting discussion. I think
some
of our
audience,
their mind is being blown off, like, because a lot of people don't think as deep on the subject matters as you do. Even I've always considered myself to be inexperienced.
For sure, this is new for the channel.
Yes, I've been even myself. I always considered to be an experienced meditator, a spiritual person, and stuff. And a lot of this information is mind shifting and opening new doors and possibilities and of
100% sure.
of what's there. I realize the more I dig in the rabbit hole, I realize the less I know. Thank you so much.